Shalom, it's me, Sudden Skye, and welcome back to more Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. And we are now in excuse me. There are two ways people pronounce it. I pronounce it Hydrocity, other people pronounce it Hydrocity. But I don't really care. And this is an underwater level. And there are a few mechanics that you should learn about in underwater sections. One, you can drown in the underwater section, so be careful of that. I should probably start explaining these shield power-ups that I've been getting throughout all of the part 1. Right now I have the bubble power-up, which you can obtain by smashing a computer. And what does this do for Sonic? Well, it helps him breathe underwater, but I guess I could say goodbye to air for now. With the bubble power-up, you breathe underwater, as well as you're given the power to bounce up and down for infinity. But you don't bounce any higher, you just bounce until a certain height. And the other power-ups is the fire power-up. Oh, I'm running on water, it's so cool, fast-paced action. Anywho, fire power-up. The fire power-up gives you invincibility from all fire projectiles and other fire-based attacks, and oh. I died. How did that happen? I didn't have a shield, that's why. Anywho, oh yes, the fire shield also gives you the ability to go Super Saiyan and blast your way through levels. You jump in the air and then... Oh yeah, I didn't explain, to bounce up, or basically with any shield, to use its second purpose. You jump in there and you press the jump button again. For the GameCube controller, which I use to play this, because this is the Mega Collection, I press the A button on the GameCube controller. Press it once to jump in the air, press it again to use the shield power. And the power for Fire Shield, you just get a nice boost of speed. And the Electric Shield. With the Electric Shield, you are given the power to... well, you attract rings, and rings are basically your health. And you collect as many rings as you want, but if you get hit once, all the rings that you've collected, well, say goodbye to them, because you're not going to be seeing them, unless you have the power to, I don't know, go really fast and collect them all back up again. And if you collect 100 rings, you get a life. If you collect 200 rings, I believe you get another life, and so on and so forth. And I'm going so fast, I'm running on water, oh! Anyway. Oh yes, with the Electric Shield, you also are given the ability to do a second jump. And I don't know how the bubble shield looks on YouTube right now, because a lot of the shields, they blink, and YouTube doesn't really like things that blink. If something blinks, you either see like the full effect of the shield, or you don't see the effect of the shield at all. But anywho, those are all the shields that Sonic does. Oh, and when Sonic does not have a shield, and you press the A button while you're jumping in the air, Sonic has something called the Insta Shield. Another hidden ring over here. But Sonic has a thing called the Insta Shield, which basically gives like Sonic a few inches of attack. So if there's like a very thin layer of something protecting Dr. Eggman from an attack of Sonic jumping onto and doing damage to Dr. Eggman. I could be explaining this better, but whatever. You'll still hit Eggman. Oh, and I should explain the orbs with the spheres with the stars on them. They just bounce you back. And if you touch a red orb, you just lose the special stage, and you get sent right out of there. And you never see the giant special ring stage ever again. Well, you see the stage, but you just don't see the ring again. Oh, that specific ring. And if you want the full good ending of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, you want to collect all of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. And I get a little lost here. I didn't practice this stage a lot. Please forgive me. And the longer you stay in here, the faster you go, so... Oop, there you go, you got a gray Jolly Rancher. Man, we are collecting them really fast. Just 2 more to go. Oh yes, you might be wondering who the orange fox that has been following us around for all, what was it, 20 minutes? Basically this fox is named... Well, first I should probably explain this boss fight. Basically you just want to spin dash from side to side when he's going in your direction. You go the same direction as him. He has 2 attacks, that thing that you just saw, and this spinning water trick, which really doesn't hurt you that much. And when he's on that thing, he's vulnerable, so keep jumping at him right here. And yes, this signpost. Signpost, basically a spinning sign, and you jump at it to gain points. This is really the best way I could explain it. And you wanna, before you land on the ground and let that sign land, you wanna jump and get a breath of air right before letting it land, because if you forget to get a breath of air, you're in this place for the long run, and the counter still goes down when Sonic is in that zone finished or act finished pose. And while he's in that pose, he's still drowned. So be careful of that. You'll understand if you actually, or if you ever actually play the game. And you want to move fast before this wall crushes you. You don't want a wall to crush you. That's no good. Did I say how much I love the music in Sonic the Hedgehog 3? I think a lot of the music in some of these stages is a bit underrated. And is overshadowed by Sonic's previous games. But I have to admit, Emerald Hill Zone, or rather all the songs in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the Casino Night, Carnival Night, whatever. It wasn't Carnival Night, it was Casino Night. A lot of the music there is good. But here is the aforementioned bonus stage. Which is, well, I guess I can't explain it now. No, I can still explain it. It's a good way to get rings and power-ups, basically. That, specific bonus stage is, a good way to get rings, and only rings. But it is a gamble, because, if you land, every time you land in that center glass crystal force field thing in the middle, before I say that was a little glitch. For some reason, the spring didn't bounce me all the way off the cliff. Like, I almost, cheated death twice there. Or not death, just a really long trip back up. Anywho, every time you go into the center of that bonus stage, you are in a slot machine, and, the best thing that you could get is, the 3 jackpots. The second best, I think, is the bars, and, we're running on water! Fast-paced action! Sorry, I had to do that. But, I guess, the 3 Sonic heads, or Tails heads, or Knuckles heads, are about the same. And the absolute worst you can get is, the 3 Eggman, Robotniks. I prefer calling him Eggman. And when you get the 3 Robotniks, well, you get attacked by spiky balls, and you lose rings every time you touch one of those spiky balls. So don't touch Eggman's spiky balls. Now the explanation of the confusion between Dr. Eggman and Robotnik. When this game came out in Japan, which is where it originally came out, God, what? I made a big mistake in that special stage. I was playing this game like a lot, so I guess my eyes got really tired and I got a lot of this game moves really fast. You get confused sometimes. Okay, I'm old. There. Anywho, when this game originally came out in Japan, the fat evil scientist that trapped all the animals in capsule, his name was Dr. Eggman. When I'm talking about the original Sonic the Hedgehog, not this specific game. And when Sonic the Hedgehog came to America, some guy thought it was a good idea to name him Dr. Robotnik. Just some guy. I forget who he was exactly, but I remember him, I think it was a guy who had absolutely no idea what the game was about. He just named the guy Dr. Robotnik. I'm sure I'm not explaining this all correctly, but something along those lines. Oh, that's not gonna be synced. Anywho, I was introduced to the Sonic series in the later half of the whole Sonic series, and at that point, everyone already knew him as Dr. Eggman because of the game Sonic Adventure, which was the first. Well, I use this term, the first term. Excuse me. I use first loosely when I say this. Sonic's first entry into the 3D plane, 3D spectrum of games on the Sega Dreamcast. Man, do I love the Dreamcast. So many memories. And fast-paced action running on water. Anyway. Gotta do it. Here's another hidden ring. Oh, a thing I should mention. If you fail a special stage, and then you try to, there's no way of seeing that special ring ever again, like in that specific file of the game. This is one of the more confusing ones. Man, Sonic the Hedgehog really is a real special series of games. He was made to compete with Super Mario. Whether or not he was successful or not, the Genesis really was a big console to look forward to as a kid. I don't know what I'd choose if I actually lived back then when the two consoles came out. Which one would I choose? I think I'd choose the Super Nintendo because, well, the name Super is in the name. And yes, I got lost. Okay. I got lost. People make mistakes. There's two special stages that I failed. Or at least two special stages that you saw me fail. Anywho, oh yes, when you're drowning, a good way to avoid drowning is to use the bubbles that come out of the ground very wisely. Another trap that Knuckles has set. A little Easter egg, or not really an Easter egg, just something you can do that I found out about. If you decide to play the game as Tails, first Eggman boss fight. What is gonna happen is Eggman is gonna spin a big old tornado, vortex of water, into the air, and he'll try to suck you into his watery fan. And pull you into the water, and then once he lets go, you could use that as a platform to gain some height and hit Dr. Eggman. Another thing he does is drop bombs, and when those bombs explode, it splashes water, and you could jump off that splash of water and hit Dr. Eggman for multiple hits. Stage transition! See you guys in the next part.